Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope that you're all doing wonderful today. Hope that you're, getting your goals accomplished, enjoying yourself. Of course, I always want the best for you guys. I always have the best interest for you guys. So again, hope that everything's going well on your end. But today's video, we're gonna be going over why it is so important to save for your wedding. Now, some of you may be thinking, I'm clicking on this video, I'm not getting married anyway. Like, let me stop you for a second and know that even though we're going over why it's important to save for a wedding, this can be applied to quite literally anything when it pertains to the future, like future things, future events. But today's gonna be a wedding because weddings are something that are very expensive, and they're only gonna get more expensive in the future. So in today's vid, I'm gonna go over why it's so important to start saving today, not when you find the person you love, not when you actually think you're gonna get married. No, today. Whether you're single, you've been in a relationship for 1 month, 2 months, 1 week. Start saving for your wedding. It might not even be the person you end up marrying one day, but again, it is still important to prepare yourself for such a huge event that will be coming in your future. Now, the first reason why it's so important to save for your wedding, you're going to reduce a lot of stress. Because let's be honest, weddings, they're amazing. You're happy. You think of happiness. Something that you don't think about that happens a lot is stress. Weddings are very stressful, not only because of the planning that it takes, but the expense of a wedding. Weddings are incredibly expensive. And again, it's gonna go up, and this is not the exact amount, but you can expect a wedding to be in a range of like $20,000 to $40,000. That is actually not out of the ordinary at all. They might raise up to 50,000 by the time you get married. Like seriously, of course you don't have to get a $20,000. There's ways to have a wedding be very affordable. There's plenty of things you could do. And this bit is not about how to make a wedding affordable, because at the end of the day, it's okay to want a big wedding. Okay, you don't have to go to the courthouse. You don't have to go have everything low end. You can have the wedding of your dreams. Okay, you can have that. But again, it's important to save for that ahead of time instead of waiting and then you find yourself in debt. Okay? You don't want that. You want to avoid that stress, which is again why it is so important to start saving today. You're going to avoid a lot of stress. You're going to be able to go through the process stress free. Don't you want that? Don't you want to go through things happily, have your honeymoon happily, and again, not have to worry about anything? So it's just something to think about. But that goes into our next thing why it's so important to save, which is one of the things I just said. It helps you avoid debts. Yes, a lot of people go into a wedding happy. They go out to the wedding happy, right? They have their honeymoon happy. And then they get to the realization, oh my God, I owe this amount of money. I have to pay this back. Because typically, we don't have $20,000 to $40,000 just sitting around. We don't. Right? We don't. Most of us do not. So again, it's so important to start saving, even if it's just $200 a month. Again, if you started today, let's say actually it's a little different. So let's say you're 20 years old and you start saving around $400 a month, right? And let's say you get married in 7 years. I don't know the exact math. All right, so please don't quote me on this, but you gotta think about it. 200 times 12 is 2,400, right? We times that by 7 and we get 14,000. No, it's not 14,000. It's not 14,000 at all. Excuse the math on that. I was about to say 14,800, but that is incorrect. Or it may not be. Okay, I don't know the math on the top of my head, but the point of it being is you would accumulate a sufficient amount of money. Now you're still thinking, yeah, but that's not that 20,000. It's not that 40,000 that you were talking about, E. So yeah, it'll help, but I'll still be in debt, right? Well, why isn't your partner saving as well? Again, it's very important to communicate with your partner that, hey, you're someone who I feel like I could see myself getting married to one day, or even if you don't put it like that, again, just say, hey, I think it's important for us to start saving for our wedding. I know which don't do that like first date or your first month or so. You don't want to do that. You don't want to scare anyone off. But maybe a year into the relationship, say, hey, I'm serious, and again, I think we should start saving for our wedding. I don't think we're gonna get married anytime soon, but so when we do get to our wedding, we can have the money to afford it and leave happily. And then if we ever want to have kids, we don't have to worry about the expense of trying to pay for weddings and trying to pay for kids, because Having kids are very expensive as well. Something else you should probably plan for. But again, I keep saying it. Think about it. Seriously, think about it. For those people who are thinking to themselves right now, I don't even know if I'm gonna ever get married. Okay, let's say you never get married. Again, I said in the beginning of the video, it's gonna help you build habits regardless if it's a wedding, it's education, it's future kids, it's a future event, retirement. It's better to start planning now. Because if you prepare for your wedding and you never get married a day in your life, you build a habit of saving money, and guess what? You have that money saved that you can put to better use now. You can put it down as a down payment for a home, right? Like, think of it. Just really think of these things, okay? It's so much money that can be saved that we just spend. Like, of course, there's certain mandatory things. If you have a car, you got to pay a car payment, you got to pay insurance, you got to pay for gas, right? Of course, there's things that we have to pay for, but what do we have left at the end of the day? Once we pay for our necessities, what do we have left? Because what we need to focus on is saving before spending. Of course, the needs come first and the debt comes. But what am I doing next? I need to start saving. Even if, again, if it's not for the wedding, for my education. If it's not for education, then a car. If it's not for a car, well, then my home, and etc. and etc. And then once you start putting towards your saving goals, then we can start having that fun that we all want to have. Or at least start saving again for that fun event. If you want to go, I don't know, Six Flags this summer, right? We'll start saving again ahead of time. Again, it is so important to start saving to avoid debt. Again, it's the principle of it. If it's not a wedding, it could be anything else. Again, it's about building good and great habits. Now, we were just talking about how saving for a wedding would help us build the habit of saving money. But it's also going to help us build a habit of budgeting. Because think about it, right? We didn't finish the math. But at the end of the day, let's say we have around $16,000 or $17,000 saved up, right? Well, now we know I have $17,000 to work with versus I'ma just spend anything and everything I want. And now once I get the bill, now I'm going to figure everything out. Now, at least if I know I have $70,000 to work with, I can budget around that. And most importantly, again, which I said earlier, you should communicate with your partner so they do the same. So now you both save $70,000. Now we can work with $34,000. And again, now you can have a bigger wedding or more of which you want. Because it necessarily doesn't have to be big, but you may just want certain things at your wedding. So again, it's so important to save for your wedding because it's going to help you start budgeting, which is going to do what? Carry over to things outside of weddings. Again, it goes in the same thing we just talked about with education and other things. Saving for your wedding is going to help you with just saving for a wedding. It's going to build good values. It's going to build good principles for you. I could have made a video saying why it's so important to start saving for college. But for most of us, we can't get a job at a certain point. So that wouldn't be a great example. Or I could have made a video saying why you should start saving for your kids' education. Right? I could have made this video a different title and the same principles would still be here. But a lot of us, I do believe, want to get married. Right? And a lot of people go into weddings unprepared. I mean, generally, a lot of people go through life unprepared. So I thought this would be a great way to express why it's so important. And again, I don't want you guys to go through life with debt. I don't want you guys to go through life with stress. Right? So again, please take in, even if it's not the wedding, at least take in the principles, take in the values that I'm trying to express to you guys today. And again, it's going to help you create a budget, which is going to, leak out into other things in your life and then carry over in a positive way. Most importantly, it's in a positive way. Okay? So again, just something to think about. And to pair along with budgeting, you get what you want. Like, how we talked about, when you budget, right? And you actually start saving, you can actually get what you want debt free. Yes, you can get what you want debt free. You know how sometimes I really want these shoes. I don't really have the money. Let me swipe my card. Now I'm in debt and I got to figure out how to pay it back. Well, nope. In this case, nope. I don't have to worry about paying anything back because I paid for it. So I got what I want. Of course, it's at a cost. I was about to say at no cost. But again, at no expense. In the sense of you don't have to pay anybody back. You prepared yourself for this. You saved this money for this occasion. Isn't that a lot better than just taking money out of your checking or just taking money out of your savings and now you're trying to figure out what I'm going to do for this now? Again, when you prepare yourself, you're going to put yourself in a lot of better situations. You're going to set yourself up for a lot of success. Because think about it like this, right? I'd say, we're going to stick to the wedding, okay? You start saving for your wedding, right? Again, that's $17,000. You start saving $17,000, right? And bam, wedding's over now. Okay. Now we're thinking about, oh, do we want to have kids? Well, okay, now let me start preparing for kids. Let me start contributing to kids. And I can start contributing to kids. It won't be as much because I won't have as much time, but I don't have to worry about paying anybody back. Because if I didn't save $17,000 for that wedding, guess what? I'd be trying to figure out, oh my God, how am I going to pay the $70,000 back? Oh my God, now I have a kid. Now I got to pay this for my kid. Oh my God, these hospital expenses. Oh, and then you're just in nothing but stress. You're going to be stressed the heck out, right? Let's just put it like that. Instead, what you do, you saved for it years ahead of time. And now when you do have this, again, short extended amount of time, but you get to prepare for your kids and you get to put yourself in a better predicament. Okay? So again, that is why it's just super crucial. That's why it's super important. And again, like I said, you get what you want. Another vital and key thing is it builds teamwork and it shows commitment. Like, just imagine you're with your partner, again, for a year, and they say, hey, baby, I really think we should start saving for your wedding. That shows that they're serious about you. Of course, there's other things that need to be put in place to show that they're serious. Other actions other than say we should start saving for our wedding. But again, this just shows commitment, which is very important. It builds teamwork, which is very important when it comes to marriage. Okay? So just think about it. Just saving for your wedding is going to put you in, again, a better situation. It's going to build your bond even further. It's going to prepare you for being a couple, a married couple. Okay? Because married couples, when it comes to expensive, it is very serious. You can't just spend money on things. You do have to cooperate. You're a team. Okay? Literally, when you're married, you're a team. Alright? Dynamic duo. Alright? If I mess up, then you suffer. If you mess up, then I suffer. Okay? So when you're saving for your wedding, well, I need you to start saving too, because once we combine this, we're going to put ourselves in a better situation. But if I'm the only one doing something, then again, we might find ourselves in debt, because once we get married, your debt is my debt. Okay? So think about that. Seriously, think about it. It's going to build teamwork, and guess what? It's going to show how serious you are about your partner. It's going to show that you truly do love your partner. They are someone that you can see marrying one day. And then it's going to have a positive effect on your relationship. It can, even if you have a fight or argument, at least at the end of the day, of course, nothing crazy, but at least at the end of the day, yeah, we had a fight, yeah, we had an argument, but I know this person really loves me, that they do want to build a relationship with me that can grow into a marriage one day, and that is going to be super important. It really is. It doesn't matter if you're a man, doesn't matter if you're a woman. It is going to be super important to communicate that with your partner. And I think they really will appreciate if you show that commitment and that you show that you want to build that team. Now, something that I've been kind of gearing towards this entire video is how that just planning for a wedding is going to build long-lasting habits, which is this next point. It's going to help you plan for the future. Just like we talked about creating budgets, what also helps you plan for the future? It's literally the example I used earlier with having a kid next. Well, that's going to help you plan for that because you've planned for a big event, right? Like a wedding. Now you're more prepared to plan for other things. Now you feel more comfortable planning your kid's college out, right? It's not uncomfortable for you. It's nothing new. So when you start planning out your wedding, and that's another reason why I did a wedding, because that's something that is going to come up. Education, again, is a thing where when you're in high school, which is where you would think about education in the first place, typically you might not even get a job. It's going to be hard to save a certain amount of money. Still get to save for education, of course. But at least a wedding, you're an adult now. You can start saving for that, and it works out further, and you get a longer experience. I hope you don't rush marriage, but you get a longer experience of saving, which again is going to help you prepare for the future of saving more money. Okay? Things like retirement. Okay? You're going to get to save for retirement. You're going to be set up for success. As I keep mentioning, it's going to put you in the right position. All right? So it's so important to do this because it's going to help you plan for your future. And the future is going to matter. I say it in almost every video. Think about the future. Stop staying in the moment. Stop thinking, yeah, but I'm not worried about that right now. Because I hear that all the time. I'm not really thinking about that right now, E. You know, later, right? When is later going to come? Oh, it's going to come eventually. And if you kept sticking in the moment and the next day was later and then the next day is later again, then you're going to get to that position where later is now. And guess what? You are unprepared. You have nothing situated for yourself. Like for me, I give advice to people, but you know what I realized? If people don't act on things, it's really not up to me. I can only give you advice. If you don't act on the things that I'm telling you, there's nothing more I can do to help you. It is up to you to take advantage of the time that you have and to prepare for the future that you're inevitably going to have. And again, make the best of it. Optimize it. We're not going to all be rich. We're not going to all be millionaires. And that's okay. That's not what my message is ever about. It's always about optimizing your life, making the best of what you can do. Okay? Because I want the best life for you. And if all you make is, I don't know, 40,000 a year, I want you to make the best out of that 40,000 a year. Okay? I want you to make the best of any situation that you have. Maybe it's getting yourself out of a certain situation, because at the end of the day, I believe in you guys, alright? And I know that you can get anything that you want to get done accomplished. But again, you have to act on these things. And when you act on planning for your weddings, and help you act on every other thing that you have coming up in your future. But lastly, you get to have lasting memories together. And guess what? Debt free and stress free, as I said before. You get to have that moment with your partner and not have anything to worry about. You are happily, literally happily married. Because guess what? When you're on your honeymoon, but you know you got debt, you're not going to be all that happy. It's going to be in the back of your mind. But when you don't have that debt, when you're free of that, when you relieve yourself of that duty, you get to actually enjoy your partner. You actually get to enjoy your time with them. Again, without worrying with anything. So again, it's just a great last long memories. It's going to be the shortest one, because that's pretty self-explanatory. But I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Please share it. I think you can share this to every single body. Alright, please. Again, even if they're not, if you think, oh, they'll never get married. They might get married one day. And two, it's about the principle of it. Okay? Remember, it's most importantly the principle of these things. Okay? So please, please, please take what I'm saying seriously and apply it to your life. Take action. But anyway, please like, subscribe, comment down below, please. Y'all don't be commenting. You know, y'all don't be liking. Like, come on. I gotta do better, okay? Or I gotta do better. Either it might be me. I just gotta make better content. Just let me. But you can comment down and let me know that. All right. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and peace out.